Have you ever won an argument, but still lost your peace? You proved your point. You made the other person understand they were wrong. You had the perfect response. But after everything ended, you still felt exhausted. Why? Because not every battle is worth fighting. The strongest people understand something that most people never learn. Winning does not always mean defeating someone. Sometimes winning means staying calm. Sometimes winning means walking away. Sometimes winning means refusing to let someone control your emotions. This is one of the greatest lessons from Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius was one of the most powerful men in history, but he understood that true strength was not shown by controlling other people. It was shown by controlling himself. Many people waste their energy trying to prove themselves. They argue with people who don't want to understand. They explain themselves to people who already made their judgment. They fight battles just because their ego feels challenged. But a wise person asks a different question. Is this situation worth my peace? Because every argument has a cost. It takes your time, it takes your focus, it takes your emotional energy. And sometimes the person you are trying to convince is not looking for truth. They are only looking for a reaction. The Stoics understood this. They knew that giving someone an emotional reaction meant giving them control. If someone insults you and you immediately lose your temper, they controlled your emotions. If someone provokes you and you abandon your values, they controlled your actions. But when you stay calm, observe, and choose your response, you take your power back. This is why Stoic people were not interested in proving themselves to everyone. They knew their worth did not depend on winning every conversation. They knew their actions would speak louder than arguments. And this is a lesson many people need today. You don't have to reply to every criticism. You don't have to correct every misunderstanding. You don't have to defend yourself against every opinion. Sometimes silence is not weakness. Sometimes silence is the highest form of confidence. Because a person who truly knows themselves does not need constant approval. They don't need to win every fight. They focus their energy on becoming better. The world will always have people who disagree with you, people who misunderstand you, people who try to pull you into unnecessary drama. The question is not, how do I defeat them? The question is, how do I remain in control of myself? Because the person who controls himself is always harder to defeat. And that is the Stoic way to win without fighting. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that every challenge requires a response. Someone criticizes you, you respond. Someone doubts you, you try to prove them wrong. Someone disrespects you, you immediately fight back. But ask yourself, are you reacting because it is necessary or because your ego feels attacked? This difference separates a strong mind from a weak one. A weak mind reacts to everything. A strong mind chooses what deserves attention. The Stoics understood that your energy is limited. Every argument you enter, every person you try to convince, every situation you allow to disturb your peace, takes a piece of your focus. And the people who truly become successful understand this. They don't spend their entire life explaining themselves. They don't waste hours proving their worth. They let their actions create the answer. Think about Marcus Aurelius. He faced enemies, criticism, betrayal, and challenges during his rule, but he didn't allow every outside problem to control his inner world. He focused on his duty. He focused on his character. He focused on what he could control. And that is the secret. Your power increases when your need to prove yourself decreases. Many people are trapped because they want everyone to understand them. They want everyone to see their intentions. They want everyone to admit they were right. But the truth is, some people will never understand you. Some people will judge you without knowing your story. Some people will create an opinion about you and refuse to change it. And chasing their approval is a battle you can never win. The Stoic solution is simple. Do your best. Stay true to your values. Let time reveal the truth. Because the person who constantly needs to prove himself is still controlled by other people's opinions. But the person who can stay silent and continue improving has already won. Winning silently does not mean doing nothing. It means putting your energy where it creates results. Instead of arguing, improve. Instead of complaining, build. Instead of seeking validation, develop yourself. Let people talk. Let people doubt. Let people underestimate you. Your job is not to convince them. Your job is to become undeniable, because there is a different kind of confidence that comes when you stop announcing your plans and start working on them. You don't need to tell everyone what you are building. You don't need everyone to support your journey. Sometimes the biggest achievements are created in silence. The seed grows underground before anyone sees the tree. The same happens with personal growth. Before people notice your discipline, you practice it alone. Before people respect your success, you build it when nobody is watching. Before people see your transformation, you struggle through the process quietly. That is why Stoics valued patience. They understood that real power does not need constant attention. It grows silently. And when the results appear, no explanation is needed. There is another powerful lesson behind winning without fighting. Know when to walk away. Many people think walking away means losing. They believe that if they don't respond, they are weak. If they don't defend themselves, they are accepting defeat. But Stoic wisdom teaches something different. Sometimes walking away is not surrender. Sometimes walking away is a sign that you have mastered yourself. Because anyone can react, anyone can become angry, anyone can throw words back. But it takes real strength to stay calm when your emotions are telling you to fight. Imagine someone trying to make you angry. They say something hurtful. They try to challenge your character. They want you to lose control. A person without discipline immediately reacts. But a Stoic pauses and asks, why should I give this person control over my peace? That one question can change everything. Because the moment you realize your peace is more valuable than winning an argument, you stop fighting unnecessary battles. Not every insult deserves an answer. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every person deserves access to your energy. Your attention is valuable. Your peace is valuable. Your time is valuable. Protect them. Marcus Aurelius wrote about controlling your mind because he understood that external events only have power over you. When you allow them to enter your inner world, someone can speak badly about you. Someone can misunderstand you. Someone can criticize your choices, but they cannot control your character. Only you can do that. And this is where many people make a mistake. They think they need to change everyone's opinion about them. They spend hours explaining. They try to prove their intentions. They try to convince people who already decided not to listen. But a wise person understands. You don't need to win every conversation to win in life. Your life is the evidence. Your discipline is the evidence. Your growth is the evidence. Your results are the evidence. Let people underestimate you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them think you are not capable. Sometimes the best response is not a response. It is becoming the person they never expected you to become. The Stoics did not chase recognition. They chased excellence. They did not focus on looking powerful. They focused on becoming strong. And that is the mindset you need. Stop trying to prove yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop fighting battles that only drain you. Start investing that energy into your purpose. Because every minute spent trying to convince someone else is a minute taken away from building yourself. The strongest people are not those who win every argument. They are the ones who know which arguments are not worth entering. That is true power. That is true discipline. That is how you win without fighting. Another important lesson from Stoicism is learning the difference between explaining yourself and respecting yourself. There are moments when communication is necessary. There are moments when you should clarify your intentions. But there is a point where explaining yourself becomes begging for approval. And that is where many people lose their power. Think about how often people say, I just want them to understand me. I just want them to know my side. I just want them to see that I was right. But sometimes the more you explain, the more you give importance to someone else's judgment. A person who truly knows their worth does not need to constantly defend their existence. They know who they are. They know their intentions. They know their values. And they are comfortable letting their actions speak. Marcus Aurelius understood that your character is built through your choices, not through other people's opinions. You can explain yourself perfectly and someone can still misunderstand you. You can be completely honest and someone can still doubt you. You can do everything right and someone can still criticize you. That is why you must stop making your peace dependent on being understood. Your responsibility is not to control everyone's perception. Your responsibility is to control your own actions. This is one of the hardest Stoic lessons. You have to accept that some people will never see your value, and that's okay. A diamond does not become less valuable because someone doesn't recognize it. A person's worth does not decrease because someone fails to appreciate it. The mistake many people make is that they start changing themselves to gain acceptance. They lower their standards. They hide their opinions. They sacrifice their goals. They become a version of themselves that other people will approve of. But the cost is high. Because when you lose yourself trying to be accepted, you lose the very thing that creates respect. Real respect comes from authenticity. It comes from standing by your principles. It comes from being the same person when people are watching and when nobody is watching. And remember, walking away does not mean you hate someone. Silence does not mean you are weak. Not responding does not mean you lost. Sometimes it simply means you understand the value of your energy. You have bigger goals, bigger responsibilities, a better future to build. So instead of asking, "How do I make them understand me?" ask, "Why am I giving them so much power over my peace?" That question changes everything. Because the moment you stop needing everyone to understand you, you become free. Free from unnecessary arguments. Free from constant approval seeking. Free from the need to prove yourself. And that freedom is one of the greatest forms of strength. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful ways to win without fighting. Master the art of emotional control. Most people think strength means having the ability to attack back. But Stoics believed something different. Real strength is having the ability to stay calm when you have every reason to react. Anyone can become angry. Anyone can say hurtful words. Anyone can lose control. But a person who can control their emotions in difficult moments has a level of power that most people never develop. Think about this. When someone makes you angry and you immediately react, are you really in control? Or did that person just press a button and control your behavior? The Stoics believed that between an event and your response, there is a small moment. That moment is where your power exists. You cannot always choose what happens to you, but you can choose what happens inside you. Someone disrespects you. Pause. Someone criticizes you. Pause. Someone tries to provoke you. Pause. That small pause gives you the ability to respond with wisdom instead of emotion. And this is why calm people are often respected more. Not because they never face problems, not because they never feel anger, but because they don't allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. A person who is always reacting is easy to control. A person who remains calm is difficult to manipulate. This is why Stoics practiced patience. They understood that anger often makes us fight battles that don't matter. One angry message can destroy a relationship. One emotional decision can create years of regret. One unnecessary argument can steal your peace for an entire day. So before you react, ask yourself, will this action make my life better, or am I just trying to protect my ego? Because many fights are not about truth. They are about pride. Someone wants to prove they are right. Someone wants to have the last word. Someone wants to feel superior. But the wise person does not need to win every moment. They think about the bigger picture. They protect their future. They protect their peace. They protect their character. Remember, a calm mind sees clearly. An emotional mind creates chaos. The person who controls their emotions controls their life. And once you develop this habit, you become stronger than the situations that once controlled you. You stop being easily triggered. You stop wasting energy on meaningless conflicts. And you start living with the confidence of someone who knows, my peace is more valuable than proving a point. The final lesson of winning without fighting is understanding this. You don't need to prove your worth. You need to build it. Many people spend their entire lives trying to show others that they are successful, intelligent, or valuable. They announce every plan. They defend every choice. They look for constant recognition. But the strongest people understand something important. The more you need to prove yourself, the more power you give to other people's opinions. Your confidence should not come from convincing people. It should come from knowing that you are improving yourself every day. Let your discipline speak. Let your consistency speak. Let your results speak. You don't have to tell everyone you are working hard. The results will eventually show. You don't have to tell everyone you are becoming stronger. Your actions will reveal it. You don't have to fight every person who doubts you. Your growth will answer them. This is what it means to win silently. Winning silently doesn't mean hiding forever. It means focusing more on building than announcing. It means spending less energy explaining and more energy improving. It means understanding that your biggest competition is not another person. Your biggest competition is the weaker version of yourself, the version that reacts too quickly, the version that needs everyone's approval, the version that gives up when things become difficult. Every day you have a choice. You can protect your ego, or you can build your character. You can chase attention, or you can chase growth. You can fight unnecessary battles, or you can protect your peace. The Stoics chose the second path. They understood that life is too valuable to waste on things outside their control. You cannot control someone's opinion. You cannot control someone's attitude. You cannot control someone's judgment, but you can control your response. And when you master your response, you become extremely difficult to defeat, because the world can challenge you, but it cannot control you. People can criticize you, but they cannot break your confidence. Situations can become difficult, but they cannot destroy your inner peace. That is the strength Stoicism teaches. Not the strength to defeat others, the strength to master yourself. So the next time you feel the urge to argue, prove yourself, or defend your ego, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me become stronger, or is this stealing my peace? If it steals your peace, walk away. If it helps you grow, take action. Choose your battles wisely, because the person who knows when not to fight has already won. Outmaster yourself, and you will never need to prove yourself. At the end of the day, the greatest victory is not proving someone wrong. The greatest victory is becoming someone who no longer needs to prove anything. Because when you truly understand your value, you stop chasing arguments. You stop chasing approval. You stop chasing the need to be understood by everyone. You become focused on something much more important, becoming the best version of yourself. Remember, every great person was misunderstood at some point. People doubted them. People questioned them. People underestimated them. But they didn't waste their energy fighting every opinion. They used that energy to build. They used that energy to improve. They used that energy to create something meaningful. And that is the mindset you need. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Not every situation deserves a reaction. Not every battle deserves your energy. Your peace is valuable. Your time is valuable. Your future is valuable. Protect them. The Stoic way is not about avoiding every challenge. It is about knowing which challenges are worth your attention. A wise person does not run away because they are afraid. They walk away because they are disciplined enough to know when a fight has no value. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. So the next time someone tries to pull you into unnecessary conflict, remember, you don't have to prove your strength by fighting. You prove your strength by staying in control. You prove your strength by keeping your character. You prove your strength by choosing peace over ego. Because the person who controls himself is stronger than the person who controls others. If you remember only one lesson from this video, remember this. Stop proving yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Build quietly. Improve daily. Let your actions create the answer. And one day, you won't need to tell people who you are. They will see it. If this video gave you a new perspective, comment, "I choose peace." Let that be your reminder to stop wasting energy on battles that don't matter. If you enjoyed this Stoic lesson, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs this message, and subscribe to the Stoic Edge for more wisdom about discipline, emotional control, and mastering your mind. Remember, the strongest person is not the one who wins every fight. The strongest person is the one who knows which fights are not worth fighting. To master your mind.